Hey guys, how are you doing? Hi, Hi Harrison. Hi Super Marco. Hello DJ McDJ Face. That's Alistair, isn't it? Alistair, you've got a track in today. And also, so has Super Marco. What was I going to say? Can't remember. Hi Chill Blaze. Has everyone seen my new chair that everyone got me for my birthday? Have you seen it? Look. Oh. My new chair. Hang on, I'll just take off my thingy. Look. Look. Woo! It's my new chair. It's my new fucking chair! Yeah! To the chair! Look, if I sit back, ooh. Well, that's nice. That's real nice. Bet your chair doesn't do this, does it, eh? Do you remember the one I had before? The one I had before was so broken. I couldn't even sit back on it. And now I've got a refurbished human scale Freedom. Oh, yeah! Whoa. That was a bit fast. I think I hit about 4 Gs then. Slow down, Sally. Right. It's good, isn't it? And that was the demo drop. Thanks for coming. Just me spinning on my ass on my chair. Brilliant. Hi, everybody. So, yes. Hello, Electronate. It is a nice chair. It really is. And, like, in all sincerity, thank you, everyone who got this for my birthday, because I've been getting sciatica. I spend a lot of time in my studio. So, and you know what it's like when you get used to something not working optimally, you get used to it, and you don't realize just how much it's hurting your body. But, you know, I've hit 40 now and like things hurt. The other thing in my studio that I've got, when I use my mouse, is I use one of these, because I spend so many hours in the studio. I've got one of these. It's a bit dirty. It's a mouse mat, but you put your whole hand on it like that. And then it goes on the table. And I find that's really helpful. I can't remember where I got it from now. I think it might have been Amazon. So what I used to do was because you can also put this actually on the arm of your chair. So I used to, on my old one, I used to have it here, like on the chair, like fucking Dr. Evil styly. But the problem was, eventually I just broke the handle, the chair arm. The arm of the chair just broke off. It just gave way because of just me like constantly fiddling. But yeah, you won't get carpal tunnel syndrome with this. And I did try using a ball mouse. A ball mouse? Stop it! I tried using one of those ones where you've got like a spinny ball there. Stop it! It's too funny. Okay. We're going to have to just abort that conversation because I'm obviously in a really silly mood today. But yeah, thank you for my chair. Yeah, that's right, Rennie. You've got it. So yeah, welcome to the demo drop. If you are new, this happens every time. I don't really know how to start these things off. It's quite difficult. If I try and the more I try and be professional, the more I know what I'm just lying to myself. So it just becomes worse and worse. But I'm going to give it a go. Hi. No! No! It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm going to try to say an intro for the YouTube, but we never actually do that, do we? We never actually get around to doing that. When I say we, I mean me. Hi guys. This is the demo drop. I can do it, but I can only do it when I'm not thinking about it too hard. Like if I was on my radio show right now, it would be okay. Like, because you only... Oh, I'm live now. I was going to say you only get one take, but you only get one take on here as well. But on here, I guess it doesn't matter so much, does it? On YouTube, I do feel a certain decorum has to be kind of met, kind of thing. I'm drinking Heineken tonight, by the way. Well, I've just had a little bit of Heineken now. That was actually me sober. Hi, Hartshorn. I know it's computer genitalia. There are so many innuendos. It's not even funny. But yeah, this is probably why I like starting a bit early now, so I get all of this bit out of the way. But yeah, if you are new, then this is the demo drop. And basically what we do is we like to listen to your music. Hopefully get you signed. We have had quite a few people who've been on the show who've now been signed to record labels. They've collabed with people that they would have never otherwise met. We've got a lot of you more confident in finishing your music. We've got a lot of you actively pursuing your careers now. If there's one thing that really does annoy me, it's when we go through the SoundCloud, your SoundCloud links and things like that, and we look at how little views you're getting and how little likes you're getting and stuff, and I like to think that this show helps to give you a pedestal which you deserve, and also give you this boost of confidence, because we all know what it's like, don't we, being in our bubble as a producer. At first it's fine because we think everything we're doing is amazing, and it kind of is, because there's no history, there's no, we don't have any baggage with it. And then as soon as you start getting the first few rejections and you start taking it seriously, it can become extremely hard to separate, your own personal bias or what you think's shit as to, what other people might enjoy listening to. And now tonight we have got a very varied palette of stuff. Notably, one from People Like Us. And like the stuff that People Like Us does is very, very different to anything else. But also quite similar to, it's really difficult to explain this, but you'll hear it when you hear this track by People Like Us. Like this show is really helping me to realize a lot about music production and being an artist and finding your sound. And what I'm trying to get at here is it doesn't need to be super polished. It doesn't need to be the best mixed down. It doesn't have to be, sometimes it actually doesn't even need to be harmonically make sense. And in some cases, like that goes against everything I've been taught, so for me to say that, that's quite a weird thing. But one thing it is helpful for this show is to open our ears up to be more accepting of things that we thought shouldn't work. You know, especially when you're a dance producer, everything's very formulaic, everything's organised down to the sounds, down to the arrangement, down to the composition. Stylistically, everything is done. So it's difficult to kind of, you know, step out of that and be okay with stepping away from the rules. So there we go. Cosmic Butterfly, how are you doing? I love the technical feedback. Yeah, like, and also I want everyone to remember that any technical feedback that you get, either from me or from anyone else in the chat, understand this. We're only saying it from our own level of experience, and we're only saying it from our own values, and also from where we are in our own musical journey as well. It isn't the be all and end all. And not every single music producer will tell you that. A lot of them will. It's a big thing with ego. I have to watch my ego as well with things, because I can get very butthurt by comments about my own stuff. I don't throw that out at anyone else though, but I do get quite like protective over my stuff. That's why I find it difficult to show people my stuff, but I'm so much better with that now. But always remember that when people are giving you some advice, technically or otherwise, it's only their opinion. But and it's important that we do remember this, because there's a lot of YouTube tutorials out there and go, this is the best way to do your kick and bass, and even down to like audio books or books that you might read on music production. You need to remember the context in which the advice is being given to you. Hello, Elusive Bounce, whoever you are, welcome in. Because sometimes you could be listening to advice and it could only be relevant for bands, live recording, certain situations. It might not always be for dance music. It might not always, you know, apply to your kind of music. So always go in with your eyes open, and any advice and feedback that you get from this show or from anyone else, just take on board anything that clicks or relates and feels right. But always be okay with experimenting and just go down a road as far as you fucking want, right? It doesn't matter, just do it, because you'll still learn something from it. I spent probably 2 years engrossed in a synth called Alchemy, and I don't use Alchemy anymore because now it's bought by Logic. I still have the standalone installers for it, but I learnt a lot in different types of synthesis from that one synth. I loved it. Fucking hated it to begin with, but the more I got used to using it, the more I learned stuff about it. And the point of what I'm saying is, even if people say, oh, don't use that, you can just use Avenger or just use Silent for that, and then use like external effects in your chain or whatever. Maybe that's working for them, but they might have already gone down these long roads of fruitlessness. But I honestly do believe that sometimes if you've got the time, explore any areas that you want to. Don't just take anyone else's word for it, least of all mine. There you go. Harrison J says, always remember what you are doing it for. Oh God, don't. Yeah. Do you know what? Honest me will say now that some of the time I definitely want to make music for a big 2 fucking fingers up to people who just thought I was a female DJ or whatever. There is a part of that that's true for me, and then there is this other part which is I just love doing stuff in the studio, and it's all stuff like away from cameras, away from being any, you know, online or streaming. But yeah, there are two sides, and maybe both of those things are okay. Maybe both of those things are okay. But yeah, whatever reasons you're doing it for, even if you're just doing it to get girls to give you fellatio, that's okay. You do you. Or guys, yeah. I mean, we used to have this with DJing years ago, where we would assume that if you were a DJ, well, I didn't, because I'm not a heterosexual man. Some could argue the toss that I am in some aspects, but I know a lot of boys did start learning how to DJ because they thought it would get them loads of girlfriends. It didn't. It doesn't. It kind of. Well, it depends really. It kind of worked for some of my friends, but it didn't work for all of them. Some of them ended up with girls that were just, what you'd probably, I don't know, I don't think I'm allowed to say the word on here, but I lost a lot of friends through their girlfriends deciding that they didn't want them to be hanging out with me anymore. Richie, no. But yeah, I think the moral of the story is, if you're going to do something like Harrison J says, make sure you're doing it for good reasons. Because it takes up your life, this shit. It certainly does on here, because we're like half an hour in, 20 minutes in, and I've still not played a song. Electronate, exactly. Social life can go to hell. If you're okay with that, then I'd say music production is definitely for you. It's easier these days, but then again, it's so much harder because there's so many more people doing it. There's so many more people doing it, and the bar is set so much higher in terms of the quality control, or lack thereof. Yeah. Girls thought of me as a mentalist. Yeah, well, you're a creative. You know, you need that aspect of yourself. And yeah, exactly, Lois Lane. Exactly, Lewin. Know who you are. DJ McDJ Faces. Honestly, the first track I ever produced was written entirely to make a college production tech lecture's brain break. Wow. Wow. No, if there was ever a reason, it would be that one. I did something like that. Did you do that on 8-track? Like on DAT tape or something? I remember doing all that. But, and also, another thing before we get started, learn about the history of music production. Like, everything's VSTs now. Get yourself a bit of hardware. I've got a few bits. I've got a Novation Supernova rack mount. I've got my little mini Moog here, Minotaur, my 303, well, TD3. What else have we got? Virus TI Snow. It's not plugged in at the moment. The reason is now I'm going against what I'm about to tell you, but I've actually now got a VST which emulates this really, really well. because it can be a bit of a pain in the arse when it comes to rendering stuff. But what I was going to say was do a bit of homework into the art of sampling. If you don't know about where sampling came from, look into things like the Akai S3000 samplers, that kind of era. Understand where sampling came from, why it was important. Rip stuff from vinyl. Find your own sounds. Keep them in a place, like together as like inspiration. Like a mood board kind of a thing. You know, those kind of things will help to separate your sound from other people's. And just jam. Do more jamming. That's why it's good to have some hardware stuff as well. You can just sit there and twiddle knobs all day. No, stop it. Stop it. Anyway, let's carry on. So, the first track we're going to play today. Oh my God. I'm not sorry at all, but I'm going to pretend I'm sorry. This first track samples Katie Price and her son. Okay. It's high A4. It's just amazing. And this is one of those tracks where, you know, I couldn't make something like this. I honestly couldn't, and I wish I could, because it's just amazing. So here we go. This is People Like Us, and this is Hello You Cunt.
Hello, you cunt.
Something horrible to Harvey. What does Harvey say?
Hello, you cunt.
Harvey. Something horrible to you. What do you think?
Hello.
Say hello? Yeah. If someone says something horrible to Harvey, what does Harvey say?
Hello, you cunt.
There we go. I find that so funny and so memorable that it takes away from the key of the bass isn't quite fitting in with the root note. The root note, the bass line, whatever note that's in, let's call that the root note. The melody along the top of it isn't in the right key, or if it is, it's harmonically not in the right harmonic of that root note. But yeah, if you want the track, it's a free download. Just follow that link. But I kind of think that's not the point of the track. Like, the point of the track is, it's called Hello You Cunt for a start. Like, it's not, I don't think it is meant to sound musically right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that it's so disjointed, because it adds another dimension to it. Well, the one thing I would say that I'd like to hear a bit better is I'd like to hear the vocal a little bit more. So maybe go in there with a bit of either manual automation of the volume of parts of his vocal where he says hello you cunt, because when he says cunt he says it quite quietly, so I wouldn't like stick a compressor on that because it might not work too well, but I would probably go in with doing a bit of manual volume automation just to bring that out a little bit. There he is, people like us. Hello darling. It is muck, but it's brilliant. I loved it. So yeah, thank you mate, and it's a great start. It's a great start to another great show. It is a good idea. Oh, honestly, if you go through People Like Us's SoundCloud tracks, they've all got really kitsch and strange ideas behind them. Thank you, DevOps Delivers. Thank you. Yeah, well, we've got one. We have one from Wayne, actually, don't we? We have one from you as well, which is straight after this one by Al Roberts, and this one's called Oppressed.
from us or aside from us has come together against the common enemy.
Okay, so that was Al Roberts oppressed. So, okay, so a lot going on in this. So there's a lot to kind of take apart with this. Ultimately, I think you've got some really good ideas, and it's just now fine-tuning, going back through this, implementing some changes. And I think it was AFOT who said about refining your sounds a bit. Before I forget, I noticed there around about 6 minutes 30 when you have this kind of ARP lead coming in, and it comes in quite loud, so that's making me think that you've got this old school side chained, as in like to other elements, because now that there wasn't as many elements in the rest of the track, this started to peek through. Maybe it's quite a long release on it or something, but like here, volume comes up quite a lot, and then when the vocal comes back in, it sounds like you've got the vocal side chained to the lead sound, or the lead sound side chain to the vocal. So whenever that vocals, which is a good idea in the sense of like it helps us to hear the vocal more when any other elements around it get ducked when the vocal is there. But I think it's you might want to go back and revisit that. So yeah, if you can hear that, or you've either done that with a sidechain or you've done that yourself. It's really hard to hear what is being said on that speech anyway. The main bit that we've all heard before is the we are oppressed. That bit. Oh, okay. Classic masking is what is happening when the two sounds take up the same space. They are fighting for it. These be cancelled out. So this is phase cancellation then. So it wasn't even intentional. Okay. So again, like AFOT said then, just going back in and refining your sounds will help. Also, AFOT said your bass line is far too stereo and your drums need to be way more present. There's also a lot of boxy mid going on in your bass. I would agree with that. Kick and bass is the most important part of a track, so start there. There's no side chaining. No, I'm glad that you sent this one, Al. I'm really glad that you sent this one, because remember, this is not a show for finished articles. This is here to hear your unfinished stuff that you need help with. So if you sent something else, it wouldn't be so obvious where you'd need some help. There was a reason why you sent this one in. Hi, Sam. AFOT, you are more than okay to backseat produce, because what you're saying is helpful and heartfelt. And I can vouch for AFOT. I've signed a lot of AFOT's progressive trance stuff in the past, over the years. So like, I know that what he is saying is intended to help. And Al, you're taking it really well as well. I think that it's worth going back, because there were a few really good moments in this track. And it is a bit over-compressed. Again, that's a learning curve. Can you just tell us, Al, how long you've been producing for? Needs more cowbell. 3 years, babe. Oh, do you know what? If you've been doing it for 3 years, you're doing really well. You're doing really fucking well. And it's not easy to get someone to listen to your work and critique it. But this is why we're here. It is a safe space to talk and to help each other. It's worth pursuing this, definitely. But yeah, take on board what AFOT said. If you need any more clarification, I'm sure AFOT won't mind you sending him a whisper. And side chaining for you, like as in like LFO Tool or Sound Guys. Is it Sound Guys? Shaper Box is a good one. Duck is a good one. Shaper Box is good because it's multi-band. Kickstart's another one. Yep. There you go. AFOT said, if anyone needs anything, hit me up. I'm always happy to help. That's what we like to hear here. Here. Kickstart is do you know what? If for starting out, Kickstart is definitely a good one. One that I hate with a passion, but I still use it because when I go to it, I know exactly where it is on my list of plugins. Is LFO Tool. I find the GUI really, really hard to navigate. I fucking hate it. You do use LFO Tool. Yeah, I do as well, but I don't like it. It just puts me off. Oh, upgrade for Kickstart is out now for £5. What do you mean upgrade? If you could buy Kickstart for a £5, I'd say go and get it. Yeah, you do get better. You do get better control with LFO Tool, but it's still a shitty GUI. Shaper Box by Sound Guys is definitely one to consider. In my opinion, it's one that Guy uses as well. Yeah, Super Marco doesn't like LFO Tool. It's just so finicky. Oh, it's like, especially when you've been up for ages and you just having to like try and click in the little boxes and stuff, and it's like, oh. Let's all be honest. We all like what we are used to. That is very true. Track Spacer. No, I forgot about that. I need to write a note now. People keep telling me about Track Spacer. This is for a different thing though, isn't it, Track Spacer? This is for creating space in your mix. I don't think this is for... Oh, okay. Oh, it is. Hang on a second. So Track Spacer. I'll just show you what I'm looking at. So ignore that other bit. That bit's you lot. There we go. Track Spacer. Track Spacer creates space in a mix by carving the frequencies that a track needs. It applies an inverse EQ curve after analysing the sidechain signal. Nice. Similar to a multiband sidechain compressor, but much more powerful. Okay. So it's kind of the same thing we're talking about here, but different, but in a good way. Where's my display? Turn that off now. Yeah. I keep forgetting about getting that. You can select the exact frequencies you want to sidechain. Perfect. Thank you for reminding me on that one. Another one, with that being said, is Smart EQ. I don't know if you guys have heard of Smart EQ, but that's also a really good one. That actually does it all for you. That's not for side chaining though. That's more for getting things in their own space. But I've had some good results by using that. Hi, 420. So yeah. Another thing that might be helpful for some of you for finding and creating space in the mix for things to pop through and stuff is looking into dynamic EQ. It's something that I stayed away from for a long time, and I've started to use it a lot more, especially with things like hi-hats. I find it quite helpful. With using FabFilter Pro Q3. That's got dynamic EQ on it. So yeah, if you don't know a lot about it, just go and search it up on YouTube. But yeah, thank you for the reminder on track spacer, because I'm probably going to get that soon. So next up, are you making tunes? Yep, that's what the demo drop's all about, baby. Slate Digital Fresh Air Exciter is good and it's free. Ooh, is that like the air that you get on... Oh, come on, brain. Marg EQ. Like that kind of air. AFOX says, if you use a side chain compressor... Oh yeah, he has, hasn't he, JLF? Hi, Nicey. That's my driver there. He's got a track in today. If you use a sidechain compressor with the trigger being the kick, a compressor will only react after the kick has fully played. So the release of the compressor starts to react after the kick audio has started playing. So if you use volume automation, you can make the volume rise up as soon as the transient of the kick has finished, which in turn gives you way more control. Are you sure on that, AFOT? Can you change the attack time of it? I'll have to look into that. Gross beat. Yeah, do you know what? Gross beat was always a good firm favourite. The only reason why I didn't like using, I choose not to use gross beat anymore, is because if you didn't get the automation line exactly snap to grid, it would go off and it wouldn't like do it at the right time. Yeah, if you use sidechain compression correctly, you can change release. I've used it with Fruity Peak Controller before, and then set up like a mute kick. Yeah, well, Al, please give yourself a break because you've been doing it for three years, so it will take a bit of time. This is not something that everyone is able to do because it can send you mental. AFOT says you can achieve the same thing by using a tiny bit of white noise over the kick as the trigger. Oh, what? Oh, I'm going to have to try that out now. Wow. No, you should start, Richie. I'd love to hear you make some music. I think everyone should try and make some music. I think it's good to be creative. Just do it. Excuse me. Okay, next up. I'm gonna do that now. Like, I've never even thought about doing that. Just putting a little bit of white noise for the trigger instead. I have to write that down while I put the next tune on. Okay, next up we have got Grandad Donk and the Randy Old Goat, and this is Dorothy. Now this is Wayne in the chat. Here we go. Where is it? Oh. I've literally had half of a bottle of beer and I'm already failing to find things on my computer. I'll learn one day. Here we go. Wow. Okay, so Grandad Donk and the Randy Old Goat, Dorothy. I've not heard that track before, but I kind of understood what it was talking about. It was on about needing to cut your pubes, yeah? Like a friendly fringe. Is that what it is? A friendly fringe? That's what I was getting. Yeah, I'm right, aren't I? I love silly songs like that. I really do. So, yeah, 11 out of 10 from me. Is that public service announcement? Public service announcement with a donk on it. Amazing. AFOT, send it to me as a whisper on here as a this is a WAV file, so just upload it. So AFOT's thank you, darling, thank you for resubscribing, love you, miss you too. So AFOT has just rendered off an example of the 3 different types of side chaining that we were just on about before. So when you do that, AFOT, just let me know in the chat what order the 3 types of side chaining are, and then we'll take a listen to it, all of us together, and then we can listen to the difference, because I would be interested to hear that. Most of the time, what do I do most of the time? Most of the time I usually just put LFO tool on or duck. However, problems come into that kind of thing when you have double kicks, kick rolls on the same channel. So, you know, sometimes it is good to have a trigger. It's so much easier to do that in Ableton as well than it is in other DAWs. That's one thing I do like about Ableton, is the ability to sidechain just by literally clicking a button. But yeah, send that over, AFOT, and we'll have a listen to it. But yeah, with this track, again, it's just a fun track, isn't it? It is a fun track, and I like fun music. It's memorable in a sea of unrememberable, not very rememberable. No, what's the opposite of memorable? Unremarkable. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, in a sea of unremarkable songs, forgettable. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, so before we move on to the next one, we do have a thing from AFOT here. Okay, so we've got a SoundCloud link. So the first one that we're going to be listening to is volume automation. So just normal volume automation. Second is side chaining from the kick. And then the last one is side chaining from a small white noise click. And the thing with double kicks would be eliminated if you use one of these techniques, because a compressor is limited with release times, etc. Yes. Okay, so first one is volume automation. Second is side chaining from the normal kick. And then third one will be, and they're all the same settings on the compressor. And the third one will be the one with the white noise. Okay, so that again. That's the first one. Yeah, you can really hear it on that third one. Yeah, you can definitely hear it on that third one. Do it one more time. Yeah. Got it. I think I'm going to try that trick from now on, just with a bit of... yeah, you can definitely hear the difference in number 3. This is it. When you get to that level of music production, it's all about those little 1% incremental improvements to your tracks, to your mix down, to your workflow, that make all of the difference. You know, there's like a... It can be quite easy to begin with, like we were saying earlier. And then it becomes extremely difficult, and then you rip your hair out, and then you think, why am I doing this to myself? And then you find little tricks like that, and every single little trick like that, you get that dopamine hit from. You get the reward system, and it reminds you of why we do these things. So for me, I find it extremely humbling, and I'm so appreciative of you doing this for us, AFOT, and giving us that little tip, because you didn't have to do that, but like for me, that's definitely very, very helpful. And I know that other people will either hear that and not understand it just yet, but in the right time they will get it. And I really, really do appreciate what you've just done there. So thank you. This is the kind of stuff that you don't get taught, right? I'm at uni. I'm in my 3rd year now doing electronic music production. You get taught a lot of the basics, and you get taught a few bits and pieces that, you know, your tutor might, you know, let slide for you. But that's the kind of stuff. Okay, so remember when I said right at the beginning about going down seamlessly fruitless avenues of experimentation in your studio? That's where things like that happen. Just by experimenting, trying stuff out, A-Bing stuff. And eventually you'll just have a little idea pop in based upon all of the other things that you've tried to do and failed at and then succeeded at. And it's all it's all through a series of educated guesses and intuition. That's why this is not an overnight job. So cheers, mate. Thank you. Okay, next up we have got Reflect, Need to Feel Loved, and it's the Mark Slater remix. There we go. That is Super Marco in the chat there. Mark Slater remix of Reflect. Need to Feel Loved. I think everything that needs to be said has been said. AFOT's made some really good points. Definitely feel that on the vocal being a bit thin. Re-singing it would be great. Getting Jade to sing that. Jade is Mark's daughter. Getting Jadie to sing that would be really... Number one, it will personalise it more. Number two, it would... I know it is sweet, isn't it? Jadie sang on a few tracks now with her dad, with Mark. Number two, it gets through a lot of the copyright issues, which means that it'll be a cover version. Which means you can possibly get it signed, and then just publishing will need to be paid. What else? And you would have full control then, because it would be your recording. Thank you, General Bounce. General Bounce is my number one person to go to for all my record label know-how. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I wonder where you got the vocal from, Mark. And did you use one of those new things that you can use? You know, like years ago we had to use like phase inversion to get like a vocal, try and get a vocal from a track by using like the instrumental and then getting it with the original. He was from Beatport. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the technology... Oh, it's like an acapella on Beatport DJ. Ooh, okay. I didn't know they did that. That's interesting. RX7. Is that one of the tools I'm on about? Is that the isotope thing? I've not tried it yet. I've not tried it. But I have heard it's really good. And I've always been really dubious. But what do you think about it, AFOT? I guess it would be on a... I guess it would be circumstantial, wouldn't it? Like how good it is as to what you were trying to achieve. And what information was on the original. The labels release acapellas themselves these days. Why is that? Yeah, so I thought so. So AFOT says RX7 is really good, but it does the same kind of thing. It's probably the best on the market, definitely, but all depends on what the source audio is. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, cool. All good thoughts there, guys. Thank you. But yeah, I really liked it. It's a really good way of making money from people making bootlegs. Really? Is that why they do it? Oh my God. Yeah, Cosmic Butterfly, maybe that's a good point. Stay alive. Yeah, because if there's if there's more versions of it out there, then that can lead it to the original. This happened to me years ago. I did a version of Sweet Disposition, like a tech trance remix of it, and I put a clip of it on YouTube, I believe, and the record label didn't take it down. What they did was they added a link to the original on iTunes. We're going back like over 10 years now, like 14 years ago. And I thought that was quite a good idea, because it you know, you're not trying to like stop people from remixing your work, but what you're doing is you're diverting them to the original, and then they'll buy the original possibly. Electronate, I'm not sure if I've seen your email, if you've sent me an email. If you've had an email back from me, then it will be on today. If not, it won't be today. I don't think I've seen yours today though, so it'll be next Tuesday, my love. If you're using cleared acapellas on tracks, they get flagged and monetized as the original tracks on YouTube. Yeah, and I think that that's a sensible way of doing it. I think that that is the best way to approach it, instead of like chopping it down, get them to monetize, because basically that's what we're doing when we're doing a remix. We're not looking to get paid for it or anything. It's literally for exposure. Cosmic Butterfly says, I sent an email but erased my track. I'll send again later. It's okay. A lot of people do that. Send it again. Yeah, we've had Electronate. We've had 2 weeks off. So my apologies for that, my darling. I'll look out for your email and make sure it's on for next week. Okay, so next one we've got is Alistair Brenton featuring Yellow Geek. I hope I've said that well. I hope I've said it correctly. End of the road. End it road. This one is, here we go. Okay, guys, that was Alistair Brenton featuring End of the Road. End of Road. I really like that as well. Definitely could be improved with a mix down. I think you mentioned there you were going to try out the little side chain white noise click trick. See if that makes any difference. Yeah, Super Marco says, I didn't care much for the last fake drop bit though. Now, the whole track, excuse me, is 9 minutes long. It didn't feel like it was that long. I think I even said to Alistair in an email, like I could only probably play like 5 minutes. And we got to 7 minutes before I thought I played it for quite a while. So it doesn't need to be that much shorter, but yeah. Well, I brought it in around about under a minute. So we were listening to that for 54 plus nearly 7 minutes. So in this instance, if it didn't feel that long, I wouldn't say shorten it by loads. Yeah, exactly. So there's something about this track. So I would say it obviously doesn't need to be shortened that much, but like Super Marco said, that last fake drop, maybe like take that out. That would be a nice place to end it, where you've got this bit around about 7. This is around 7 minutes 11. Like that would be a nice ending, you know, like for the radio edit or like for Spotify, that kind of thing. And then on a DJ edit, possibly you wouldn't need to have that in there. So you'd probably cut around about 6 minutes 48. I've got it here. And just bring the outro from about 7 minutes 22 in. Oh, nice one, AFOT. Make sure you get something sent in for next week, please. Airwaves Save Me is also 9 minutes 50. Yeah, there's a lot of music that's seemingly too long. And one of the most famous ones is Bohemian Rhapsody, and there's no way that you could shorten that. It wouldn't make any sense. Thank you, Stewie. Thank you to everyone else who's got here. Techie Steph is in. Am I on schedule? What does that mean? What's one of those? Rapper's Delight is 14 minutes! What? There you go. There you go. Okay, next up we have got... So yeah, before we move on, Alistair, it's a great track. It just needs polishing up now. Go and ask AFOT. So yeah, really happy that you sent that in, mate, and well done. What week I'm on? What day I'm on in the week is a Tuesday. We've been off for 2 weeks though. I had a bit of a rest because I had the mod party last weekend, so I wasn't in any fit state on Tuesday to be on the camera. See you later, Mark. Love you. So yeah, next up we've got Bosky Cadence. Here we go. go. That is Bosky and Direct Drive Cadence. And the record label is Faculty One, isn't it? Techie Steph says, I feel it's missing counter melody every now and then. Yeah, like that would be nice to hear a bit more of a counter melody. And I think General Bounce said something similar, with a bit more variant in the melody. But the rest of it, it's really getting there. Question and answer. That's my question. Fuck you too. What you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk inside that trunk? I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hums. See what? My hum. Yeah, my hum. It ain't no thing. Thank you. Electronate's still here. Oh. Louise says, counter melody will break into revolution. I don't know what you mean. You mean the song? Don't think that's allowed. That would be plagiarism, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think a counter melody would be really good. You had a bacon lettuce, BLTTC, bacon lettuce tomato taco sandwich. Bacon lettuce tomato turkey cheese. Ooh, that sounds ace. Yeah, it's not the layers, it just needs more movement. Do you know someone who would be really, really good for you to have mentoring you for this, Bosky? Adam Ellis. He's helped me a lot with my trance production. Yeah, listen again. Change the melody and it will be super like Revolution. What do you mean? What do you mean change the melody? What we mean by counter melody is something that's added on. So it's not about changing what's there. I think what's there is fantastic. A counter melody would be like this question answer thing. I think that would. I think having a or Alan Morrow would be a really good person to go and get some advice from as well. Absolutely. But yeah, a counter melody, basically what that means, Louise, is, or you could call it an add-on melody. It's something that supports the melodic aspects of what's already in the track. You can usually hear it when you listen to it. You can usually hear it. It's kind of like a bit of oral pareidolia, where you can actually hear in your head where it needs to be, and it will usually be in the place where the gaps are, or even at the start, so around the intro or the outro, that kind of area. That's oral, not oral. Yeah, exactly. And it's not always, I mean, this is why, like, it's not obvious for people to know about this kind of thing. So it's good that, like Louise has brought that up there. Not everyone will understand these terminologies that we're using. And you need to understand theory to a decent enough degree if you're going to be making trance. It's really important. Really important. And you'll find out so much about, in theory, you'll find out so much about how to recreate riffs that you love from other producers. Naturally, you'll have, you know, most of us do have some kind of natural talent with that, natural ability. But when you go into the theory, it kind of demystifies things, and it allows you to create moments and repeat that throughout all of your music, not just like, oh, that track had a really, really good riff and I don't know how to get to that point again anymore. So, because you'll learn all about augmented fifths and diminished chords, and extended chords. All of these things that allow you to have more musical freedom. And a lot of the people in here don't know a lot to do with music theory, but they're learning as they're going along. You don't need to know everything about it. You don't need to know everything. In fact, if you knew everything about it, it might hinder you to a degree. You just need to know enough. We all just wing it. Don't we though, in life in general? We certainly do. But if you know and you can like break it down into its basic forms, then at least then you know how to take that onto your next track and the next track. Yeah, you're supposed to know stuff, Rennie. You got to try. I have a keyboard but draw my melodies with a mouse in my ears. That's good. That's good. But wouldn't it be really cool if we had more tools to help us? You know, it's a bit like knowing how to speak the English language but not knowing how to read it. In a lot of ways, you're missing out on a big chunk of music by not learning about the music theory. Because but then it can go the opposite way as well, because you can be that disciplined that you end up always sticking to the rules. But it's really important to know the rules in order to be able to break them. It can be very overwhelming. Rave Kids UK, hello by the way. It's fucking supposed to be overwhelming. It is extremely overwhelming. Now let's get one thing straight. It's like that for everyone. That's why not many people do this. That's why it's easy to get an engineer to do it for you. That's fine. That's okay. But if you want to do it yourself, if you want to express something and you want to learn how to do all this yourself, of course it's going to be overwhelming and it's very scary. But it's very rewarding as well, because if you can understand music, you can understand you. If you give it enough time, it teaches you patience. It teaches you self-love. It teaches you self-belief. It teaches you to be quiet, to be introspective, to be humble. It's not for the faint-hearted. And if you're lucky, if you're very lucky, people might like what you make. Yeah, engineers is definitely the way for a lot of people, and that's okay too. That's absolutely fine. It really is. But if you can spend some time to learn to produce yourself, you're going to hate it. You are going to hate it. You're going to hate yourself for a long time. And then it begins to make more sense. But if you want to avoid all of that, just get someone else to do it for you. And just have the fun bit. Taking your lovely ideas, taking your little samples. So when it's sounding like this, taking a little a cappella or something, enjoy it. Enjoy the experience being in the studio. But please, please, please make sure you always appreciate the job that your engineer is doing. Because it is so hard. It's not only difficult to make your own stuff, but to make stuff for other people is even harder. Even harder. It really is. But it's worth it, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help you through that aspect of it. So next up we've got, but yeah, Bosky, I really, really liked it. I love this side of you. I love the trance aspect for you. It's a good look for you. I think it's good for you to be spreading your productional wings and not just doing hard house. Keep it up. Next up we've got, we've got my driver. This is Ryan. Now Ryan has only just started learning how to make music. This is going to make you sick now. Some people can just do it. Now I'm not saying that Nicey isn't going to have issues further down the line where, you know, they try and make another type of music and they start to find it difficult or run into walls like all of us do. But I love it when someone just starts making music and they're like, I've just made this, and I'm like, whoa, like, where's that come from? And he's done it all himself and I'm just so proud of him. So here we go. This is Nicey and this is Kasadi for Just One Day.
Colors are victorious over the gray. Stop to get controlled by the state. For just one day, I wanna forget the value of money and gold. I wanna live life my way and use my inhibition control. fade. Colors are victorious over the gray. Start to get controlled by the state. But just one day, I wanna forget the value of money and gold. I wanna live like my world. And lose like a shoot control.
So yeah, that is my driver, Ryan, aka Nicey. I think he is in the chat. I think he's might just being a little bit quiet at the moment. Oh, Techie Steph, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, there he is. Nicey Night Owl. Yeah, like we were all saying there, like how... I mean, I know, because I know exactly when you started. Techie Steph, thank you so much for £5 towards my DJ booth. I really appreciate that. 2 months ago. Now, my theory on Ryan is... Ryan's been in my studio and I've been making stuff. Oh my God, we're not even going to go into that. Oh my God. We're not even going to go into that, what kind of weird stuff that we were working on. But Ryan sat there and he watched what I do. And he started using FL Studio because that's what I use primarily. And then Ryan went away. He went home. And I kept getting a series of like messages throughout the next few weeks saying, have you got this? Have you got some samples? Have you got this? Blah, blah, blah. So I sent him some stuff over. And then I got sent a few ideas and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like, wow. And like, it was coming together really quick, really, really quick. And he's got stuff signed already. My theory as to why Ryan's got so good so quickly is he's been immersed in the bounce scene for many years. He runs events in my local area, and that's how we became friends. Also, and I don't know if anyone else can do this, but does anyone else like use Photoshop and do graphic design and stuff like that? Because I actually think there is a connection between these different aspects of being creative and using the different kinds of software. So Jude does, yeah. So my theory is that if you can use any of the other ones, like if you can use Photoshop, if you can do graphic design, if you can do, if you can use that kind of software, I think that you can kind of transpose those learning curves into music and music production. All the same words too. Well, there you go. See, I don't know that, Ryan, because I don't do any Photoshop. I mean, I have got it, but I find it really hard to use it, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, like saturation, exactly. But I can understand, this is where my theory is. I think that people who have learned another type of software in being creative like that, it's just another type of it, isn't it? It is interesting. Becky says it took me about 2 years to flesh out an arrangement in music. Similar, probably took me a bit longer. And this is the other thing on that arrangement. That arrangement was very... It was arranged properly. If there's one thing that you do when you first start learning to make music, is you forget about phrases and bars and structure. It's really difficult to keep your place as well when you're doing that. But that was so well constructed, like composed, arranged, choice of sounds, transitioning from one, even your breakdown, like even the breakdown for me is the hardest bit. I find it, how do you get into the breakdown? It's a bit, the way that I have an analogy for it is like, it's a bit like instigating sexual relationships with your other half or something, or not your other half because that's easier, like trying to tell someone that you like them, like sex wise. It's like, oh, like, trying to bring it in. Do the yawn, put their arm around them like that, like how do you do it? It's really difficult. Like once you get in there, it's fine. Breakdown is sex. My point is, you lot are taking my point and running away with it and making it even funnier. My point is, I've had a whole bottle of Heineken in that. My analogy is... My analogy is it's difficult. I find it really hard to do. There's certain aspects of music production. I guess we're all different and we all have areas of music production that we find harder than others. For me, arrangement was definitely one of the harder points. And the other one is instigating of the breakdown. Like, do I do like an 8-bar fade out and then start with a high pass filter, like low down, and then like bring things up, or like do I don't know, like I find that part of it really hard to get into. Yeah, so bridging two parts basically. That's it. But when it comes to the breakdown, I sometimes find it quite difficult. Yeah, and Nicey's just come in and mic dropped over 99% of producers. But I do feel that the reason... I mean, some people are just meant to do this anyway. I would be interested to see what happens now with you, Ryan, because it's like the proverbial looking down and seeing how high up you are. Once you've got a few tracks under your belt, where do we go from here? And that's the scary bit. I mean, you could stay doing what you're doing and trying out different things. Oh my God, Becky, so true. The more technical you know, the less you finished. Sometimes it's better to be, in a good way, ignorant to stuff. It's good to be innocent with things. You're so right. You really are. I tend to get in my own way. But then when I see someone like Ryan who just like comes out here and just does it, it fills my heart with hope for myself and reminds me of why I got into it. It could be annoying. I mean, the younger me might have been quite pissed off at someone just being able to do it like that, but it doesn't for me. It makes me inspired to remember to get out of my own way. Becky says, when I start a project now, I literally repeat, make it basic over and over again. I have a very similar mantra. Mine was from one of my best friends, Martin, my gay security guard. He's not really my security guard, but he likes to pretend he is when he comes to my gigs. He always says to me, because he sees it when he's in the studio with me, he sees me going into editing mode. And he always says, remember, it's a cartoon. Remember, it's a cartoon. It's not a movie. It's a cartoon. I'm like, okay. And that really helps me. So I completely get you on that one, Becky. And yeah, there is Nicey's SoundCloud there. I'm also going to share that for you now, mate. Please go and follow my driver, Ryan Nicey, because he's going to be very famous soon, and I'll probably be driving you, which is actually what I've been doing lately. I call him my driver, but then I've been driving him to my gigs because I don't mind driving. I'm so happy for you, mate. I really am. I think with everything that's been going on in your life as well on a personal level, I'm just so happy that you found something that you can be. You chatting like hell. I don't mind you chatting like hell. I think you're funny. I really do. I think you're brilliant. And I'm so happy that you have found, a way to express yourself. Like when I first met Ryan, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to give him a wide berth. I thought he was one of those like blokes. And then he started showing me his Photoshop stuff, like his logos and stuff that he'd made. And I was like, oh my God, like he is like someone like I could spend time geeking out with. So I am really, really excited for the future for you, mate. Next up, we have got Elusive. Not sure who this is, and this is called Cry For You 22. So there we go, Elusive, Cry For You. What does everyone think about that one? Personally, I love that. I will be playing that in my sets. Louis says, tune even though I'm christened Hard House. Yeah, I really like it too. It is a good tune, isn't it? So yeah, please get following Elusive Bounds. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much for sending this in. Please send in any more stuff that you make as well. Great use of that vocal. I don't think I've got a donk remix of that track either. So I'll definitely be playing this track. I have nothing really else to add, like technically at all. It's not really my area. General Bounce has made a few good comments as well. As a donk record label owner as well. He'd definitely be someone that you want to listen to. So yeah, thank you. Next up we have got, remember, if I don't say very much, it's a good thing. Corona, Rhythm of the Night, and this is the Adam Taylor remix.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Corona Rhythm of the Night, Adam Taylor remix. I personally really, really like this as a nice banging trance version. I will be playing this. Now, I know General Bouncer said about a missing chord based upon our knowledge of the chord progression of that track from the last like 20-30 years. Yeah, also I will also say myself as well, Rennie, I didn't notice it as being jarring, not in the way that General Bounce was, not in a way that stopped me enjoying it. However, I do agree that General Bounce, like, it's notable that I can understand why he's pointed it out, but it certainly didn't stop me from enjoying it. And in fact, I think if General Bounce didn't mention it, I might not have even like thought about it in that way. Nocturnal Nights want to sign it. They've asked me to get the vocal resung by a vocalist. I'm a vocalist. Do you want me to do it for you? I'll do it. You've been a man of me. Dear my mean bumper, I'm mighty harbor man. I knew you say, this is the rhythm of the night. The night, oh yeah. Rhythm of my life. The rhythm of my life. My life, oh yeah. Rhythm of my life. Oh yeah. There you go. You can take all of that or just little snippets, whatever you need. You can't redeem shush here. You have just wasted 300 of your channel points. I hope you're happy. Oh, speaking of which, can you all do me a favour? Can you put in exclamation mark watch time and see if it works? It's working. Can you all do it? Okay, so I switched a button on Stream Elements because everyone else has got a watch time thing, right? And mine's never been switched on, but it works now. Thank you. So whoever, I think we should do like a little thing, like whoever has got the longest watch time in like a year from now, I think I should give them like a really special present, like a signed vinyl or something, for the person that spent the most time watching this bullshit. Not this bit. This bit's like got integrity to it, but some of the time I question my life choices. But yeah, I've only just switched it on today. I was hoping that it might have allowed us all to like have like forever, but it hasn't. So the watch time things are only going to be now. No, I'm not giving them the time back. Stop it. It's been 19 hours and 27 days. Yeah, it only started from when I turned it on, unfortunately, but I remembered to do it today. It was a job that I wanted to get done, but I thought it'd be something really complicated, and it literally wasn't. It was just a flick of one button. Yeah, Electronate, you need to be here more often, because you get quite frustrated in life, and we can help you with that. Okay, next up we've got Wilson Serrano. After that we've got Griffin, and then after that we've got Quasi. So next up, Wilson Serrano, Cyber City. Here we go. Adam, great track. I hope you're okay with me playing it because I really like it. Thank you. Stop saying things like that, Rennie. Stop saying things like that, Richie. No. Stop it. So rude. You have, haven't you, General Bounce? And you're still my friend. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Okay, what did I say? Wilson's next. Wilson Serrano. We know this one's going to be good. Here we go.
These days, even relations are digital. Come out of your shell and let's move together. I promise, you'll have a blast. Just come along and visit Cyber City. Cyber City. Just come along and visit. Cyber City.
That was me pausing it before it finished and at the end. Yeah, it was a nice snippet. I would hope that the full thing would be longer than 3 minutes 10 because I didn't want it to end. I really liked how that sounded. It was so well made, even down to your artwork. Love it. I think it looks so good. It sounds amazing. Again, I don't know where you pulled your melodies from, but you have a sound and it is uniform to the tracks that you have submitted to the demo drop, but none of them have been boring or similar. Like, none of them have been monotonous. samey. They've all had. Yeah, I think he probably does. Wilson's in the chat. I'm sure Wilson's in the chat right now. It's always the same, but it's all got like, you're one of those people that if someone gave me 3 tracks and asked me like, no, not even that, like if someone just played me this track, I would say, oh, this sounds like Wilson Serrano. That's what you want to do as a producer. You want to get to a level where people can just hear your percussion and be like, yeah. Like, I can do that with a Paul Maddox track. Hear a Paul Maddox track a mile off. Yeah, he's got his own sound, but all his tunes sound different. Guy's another one. Guy can do that. Like, you can tell a Guyver track as it's coming in. You just can. You just hear it. Especially when the riffs come in. But there's just certain things that a producer does. I always pull the melodies. I knew you were going to say that, Rennie, based upon what I said earlier. I knew someone was going to say something stupid. Didn't think it'd be you, though. I always pull the melodies out my butt. That's why they're so shit. Stop it! Trying to have a serious conversation here about music production. Good thing I don't make music. It would be a shit show. A literal shit show. Stop being funnier than me. So yeah, Wilson, not much more to add on that. I just think it's brilliant. I really do. Griffin's up next with A New Day. But yeah, please guys, please go and follow Wilson Serrano. Don't encourage him, General Bounce. Thank you. Here we go, is Griffin.
Don't be sad, don't you cry, just let go. And when you fall asleep, know tomorrow's a new day. Don't be sad, don't you cry, just let go of your pain. And when you fall asleep, know tomorrow's a new day.
There we go, guys. That is Griffin. A New Day. I can't fault that Not that I would anyway, but I really enjoyed listening to it. I'm not really usually into EDM. I didn't think, but I liked it. Yeah, techie stuff as well. I liked it. Yeah, very well produced. Very clean. Becky, here's my list of faults. I know, right? Yeah, well, exactly. That's production goals for me, that. And it's not the first track that Griffin has sent in of that caliber. It's been consistent. And this is another thing as artist is our consistency. And our consistency will only come from finishing music over and over and over again, getting happy with the workflow. It takes time. And then when you try and branch out and try out different genres, it can get wobbly. Consistency is what we want. It's more a trancey EDM. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, whatever it is, I like it. I do like it. Probably a reason why I like it is I probably wouldn't play this as a DJ, but I'd like to listen. I like listening to it. It sounded nice to listen to. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say on that. I really like the vocal, which is surprising to hear a male vocal. Male vocals don't often get used as much as female vocals, especially not in trance. Especially not in trance. So when you do hear a male vocal that works in something that's trancey, you know, it's remarkable. Absolutely. Yeah, it could be longer as well, exactly. Oi, oi, says Why Boy, how you doing, mate? So yeah, I really like that one. Thank you so much, Griffin. And now we've got Quasi, and this one's called Oops. This is, I remember listening to this earlier. This is really cool. It's Britney, bitch. There we go. That is Quasi 905 and Oops. You know what? I can forgive it for having the vocal out of key with the bass line. But all it's going to take is a bit of music theory to turn this from being a novelty track into a professional novelty track. So this, again, going back to what we were saying before about learning a bit of music theory to help you along the way, this is where it's important to know. So if you've got an a cappella for a track, if you've got an a cappella from a track, when you listen to that a cappella, it doesn't necessarily mean that the root note will be the first note of that a cappella in the a cappella. Because a lot of a cappellas will sing around the root note in the harmonics of whatever the key is of that track. So a good starting point would be to find out the key of the original. Or if you know music theory, I mean, you can still do that, and then you can work out where your bass line would be. In this case, it would be very, very simple to do that. You'd be able to find out very easily what the key of Oops, I Did It Again was. And then change those bass notes to match it. But there's a weird thing that happens. H sharp. Do you know what I found out recently, Becky? That there is in Germany, they have H. They do have H. It goes A B C D E F G H. Seriously, I'm not even joking you. I was in Darude's live stream, and he was trying to work out some notes for something, and then yeah, get this, and then he said I'm not sure what note that is. It'll be H. So I wrote ha ha ha, like thinking he's joking. It's like, oh, good one, yeah, like, because everyone knows there isn't like the note H. And then someone picked up that I was laughing, and they were like, no, like they knew I was English. They said, no, in Germany we do write, in manuscript they do have, yeah, go and Google it. They actually have the note H. I think it's the half step up from the G, so it will be a G sharp. Hang on. So where's G? So G, and then H would be the G sharp. I think that's how they're doing it. And that is H. It's so weird. It's so weird. Did you find something? Here we go. So in Germany, Scandinavian, Slavic countries, the note B. Oh, the note B is called H, while B flat is called B. Okay, so it's not what I was saying. But yeah, point being, they have H. Isn't it weird? It's even worse. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It really doesn't. But thankfully that's not like, it's not something we all use. It will be most distressing for them. Yeah, you are weird. You are weird. In Germany, Scandinavian, Slavic countries, the note B or T. High. It's called H, while B flat is called B. I would find that really hard to remember. H might stand for heart, German for hard, or it could have been just a mistake in early sheet music owing to the fact that the B flat symbol looks a bit like a B and the sharp looks a bit like an H. Oh. Oh my God. But yeah, don't worry about this. Don't worry about that in this context for this Britney song. It's fine. But yeah, mad, isn't it? I only found that out by thinking that Darude was making a joke. I made myself look silly in the process. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, Quasi 905. I really love this Britney mashup remix. I'm going to be playing it as it is, but I think if you wanted to go in and make it even better, then just go and find out the root note, the key of the original, and get that bass line to work in that key using the notes in that key. Just give have a quick look at what it would be now. Key of Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. C sharp minor. Apparently. C sharp minor. So nice and simple. You'd be able to work it out from there. And then all you need to do, if you know it's in C sharp minor, just find out all of the notes in the scale of C sharp minor, and then you've got all of your options. And just use your ear. Sonic Sound Official says, what's the origin of the note H? To find out, we have to go all the way back to the Middle Ages. There's a video on YouTube. Really? I might go and have a look at that. I'm always interested to find out, like, where this shit comes from. Yeah, I know, right? I only found this out, Becky. I only found it out, like, a few months ago. Never ever, like, I did music theory. I did, I'm a classically trained pianist that doesn't really play the piano very much anymore, but that discipline has definitely helped me. But I was never told about that. Never told about that. But yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, thank you everyone for being here today for the demo drop. Don't forget to send in your music. You've got all the details on the screen. We're going to go over and see Arptrix now. Arptrix is it's his birthday, okay? And I want you all to go over. If you're not already following Arptrix, please go and follow him. He's one of my favourite streamers on here. Yeah, thank you guys. This show wouldn't be anything without your input, everyone. Massively appreciate every single one of you. Everyone from the people who aren't music producers to those of you who use engineers to those of you who are doing it all yourself. I love each and every one of you. You're all relevant, and I love every single one of your points of view and your opinions on things. I couldn't be more happy. Techie Steph, did you get an email from me? Yeah, those of you who take 2 months. You did? Are you sure? Send me a message now after the raid and I'll make sure it's on first thing next week, my darling. Okay, well, make sure you send it in again, please, Techie Steph. Email it back in again. But then it cancelled on the day. I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. But just resend it in and I'll make sure it's in, my darling. Okay. Love you all loads. Mwah. Bye.